Today I'm interviewing Larry Mizell Jr. Okay, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Los Angeles till I was about 12 years old, and I moved to Seattle in the early 90s.
Okay. What type of music did you grow up around?
Well, I was very lucky. My father was in the music industry, and so was my mother to a degree, so I got to hear a lot of music, a lot of funk and jazz and soul music and rock, and my older brother had hundreds of rap tapes, cassettes, because those were really popular in the 80s. And so I got exposed to a lot of stuff. It was after I moved to Seattle that I really got into rock music, but I'd always known about funk and jazz and rap all my life.
What got you into hip hop?
I got into hip hop. I grew up listening to it because my older brother listened to it, exclusively. But I really got into it on a personal level later because I was just fascinated by the sounds and the feeling it gave me. It made me, it made me make this face when it was really good, like, yeah, like I love that. That's awesome. And it, got me excited. And it was something that I was able to bond with my friends over. We all listened to it, and we would talk about the lyrics and the beats and the newest rappers and the newest tapes that were out. And sometimes we'd, put our money together to go buy the tape or the CD or to go see a show or something. So it was an exciting thing to be into for a lot of reasons. There was a social reason, hanging out with friends and going to shows, all ages shows and stuff, and just listening, it expanded my mind. It made me listen to other types of music that they sampled too, like jazz and funk and stuff like that.
Yeah, they do sample a lot of.
Yeah.
Okay, so what type of hip hop are you most interested? For example, there's Golden Age, like 80s, mid 80s to 90 to 93.
Yeah.
G-funk or modern?
I like it all. I think that every bit of it suits a mood and it suits a purpose. Like when it's really nice like this, for example, outside it's really sunny, it's warm. When we do the show, I like to play a lot of G-funk and West Coast type of rap because the music sounds really good. Because people play it in their cars, it booms and it fills up the air, But sometimes it's not so nice, it's rainy or whatever, and I like to listen to like more East Coast, more like boom bap type stuff that sounds good on headphones. And they made music differently in different areas because of the way that they listened to them. That kind of golden era, like Nas and Wu-Tang, kind of sounds the way it does, and people were listening to it on headphones on subways, and on stuff like that. Whereas people listening to like Dr. Dre, Warren G, Snoop Dogg, they were in their cars driving around the sun. So these things influence how the music sounded.
Which hip hop artists are the most influential to you?
It's a really good question. I really am a big fan of Ice Cube.
Yeah, me too.
Ice Cube is one of my favorite of all time. So is Biggie, Notorious B.I.G. They're really technical with their rhymes, but also very passionate. Also Tupac, who is very passionate, and you can just hear that, and that'll give you that feeling, when you listen to it. Sometimes people can be really good technically, but there's no heart, there's no soul, and it's good to listen.
What do you think of hip hop like today? Do you think, how do you think it changed? What do you think of it?
I think a lot of people talk about how hip hop changed, and they think that it was better back in the day, it's not as good now, that sort of thing. I don't really think that. I think that it's just bigger. There's more of it. When I was growing up in the 80s, there would be hip hop tapes coming out every week, but there were probably like 6 tapes coming out. Now there's untold hundreds of releases coming from everywhere. People are making them in their bedrooms and putting them on the internet. So there's so much to go through. So the quality is going to vary. There's still really great stuff. You just have to find it. On the radio, doesn't do the job it used to. You know, I am blessed to work at a really good radio station, one of the best in the country that, you know, brings really good music. So I think there's great stuff. I think there's fantastic hip hop happening today.
I have one more question. What does hip hop mean to you?
Hip hop, you know, that's a really good question. Hip hop to me is it's ingenuity. It's original ingenuity. It's taking something. It's taking nothing really and turning it into something. Hip hop came from the South Bronx in the early '70s, and I think the hip hop just you know, when it came from an area that had been abandoned. Literally, the mayor of the city didn't care about the area, the people who lived there. It was burned down. It was terrible living conditions, and the people there managed to find a way to innovate with the little resources and material that they had to entertain each other and find a social context to hang out and for the young people to not be in the gangs. And the gangs were a huge problem in New York right then, so that was a big deal. So, and even the music at the time, you know, you had people like Herc and Africa Bambaataa. They were playing music, but there weren't hip hop records back then. You know, there were the Monkees and Kraftwerk and Aerosmith and James Brown, and they would take all of that and they'd spin it back and forth and scratch it back, and that's how hip hop was made. It's made from everything else. Hip hop is taking everything else and turning it into something new. Now I think people think about hip hop and they just think about rapping and sagging pants and 40s and certain attitudes and everything. But hip hop is it's not a playbook, it's not a look, it's something that is just resourceful. It takes from everything and flips it and makes it new. I think that's the definition of it to me.
So that's all. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.